What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Paper Planes channel. This is my Dark Souls 2 Ultimate Walkthrough. We're located in Majula and we're going to head over to this ladder at the pit. The pit. Going back down this giant hole. So what you're going to do is climb onto the ladder and just slide all the way down. It takes forever. Sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding some more. Oh, there we go. Okay, so don't jump off, just go to this other ladder, and now we get to climb up a ladder. So much fun. The excitement is insane. So we're going to use our forgotten key that we got in the last episode. This is the first of two doors that we're going to open with this key in this episode. We already used it once prior. Give me some loot, baby. Come on, what you got? Soul Vortex, let's check it out. Obviously it's a sorcery and it looks pretty fancy. Alright, Soul Vortex is one of the lost sorceries preserved only in the Undead Crypt. Fires successive homing souls. Extremely difficult sorcery to evade, making it very effective against frisky foes. Are you a frisky foe? Then watch out for the Soul Vortex. So basically this thing requires one attunement slot, but it also requires 37 intelligence. That's a massive stat requirement, but it's well worth it. And if you're going the sorcery path, then you're probably going to have a lot of intelligence anyway, so it's not too bad. And it gives you 4 uses. So that's that. Now let's go to the next chest. Bow, meow, meow, meow. What is it? The Witch Tree Branch and the Witch Tree Bellvine. So these are two things that we grabbed from this chest here, one of which I'm very excited about because it's a very good upgrade to our current Sorcerer's Staff. Even though we've upgraded this staff, you can see here that this one has partial upgrades already, including the reduction in weight and the spell casting speed. So this is definitely a good thing. When we upgrade it, it's going to be far superior to the other one. So this is something that we're going to use immediately. So go ahead and swap out those two items there. Now the other item we just looted is an actual cleric weapon. It's the Witch Tree Bellvine. Let's take a look at it. Witch Tree Bellvine that sprouts amongst old growth, a catalyst for miracles and hexes. Clerics who were ostracized devised this as an alternative catalyst for casting miracles. Most clerics who are stripped of their status are good for nothings. You good for nothings. But among them are powerful spellcasters who represented real threats to the establishment. Although not a proper catalyst, the Bellvine is quite powerful. And you can see here it's got some pretty good stats. Obviously we're not wielding something like this because we're not really focused on miracles, but eventually we'll get there and we could possibly use this item. So if you're playing a faith-based character, there you go. And let's open up this last chest here. Some Mo goodies. This is actually one of the best loot spots in the game, in my opinion. You get the Great Lightning Spear. So we get a super awesome sorcery, a super awesome miracle, and 2 ways to cast either one of those items. So let's check out our new miracle. It's the very thick looking lightning bolt. The Great Lightning Spear, a miracle that launches a great spear of lightning said to be the legacy of an ancient clan whose leader was revered as the god of sun. The name of the clan has been lost to time, but the gross incandescence of our magnificent father shall never wane. I know a lot of you guys know what the heck that's talking about, but for those of you who don't, it's referencing to the Sun Bros of Dark Souls 1. So here we see, of course, this is a miracle. It takes 1 attunement slot, but it takes a massive 42 faith. So that is a huge stat requirement. It only gives you 3 uses, 1 less than the Soul Vortex, but it does require even more faith than the Soul Vortex required intelligence. So obviously this one's more demanding, but it is pretty powerful, and if you make connection with this kind of miracle, you're going to do a hell of a lot of damage, especially to enemies wearing heavy armors. Alright, so we got those items. Now we can head back out here. If you want, you can just use your homeward bone, but I think it's a little bit wasteful since we're not too far from where we need to go. Just gonna climb up this ladder here. Okay, so we're back to the top of the ladder, back in civilization, out from the pit. And we're just gonna run over here to the bonfire and tap that ass. And now we're gonna travel, and we're gonna go down to the gutter, and we're gonna go to the upper gutter bonfire. Okay, so now that we're here, we're going to run across this bridge here, and then you can actually, let's see, we might be able to jump over here. I don't know if we can make that. You guys want to try it out? Let's try it out, baby. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Nice. So yeah, we can make this jump and bypass going down through all those enemies there. Or of course you can just fall down that little square hole and kill those guys when you do so. So after that we're going to cross, nope, we're not going to cross, we're going to climb up this ladder. Obviously if you want some light in here, use your torch. We've already been through this area so it's a little bit easier to see. Now there are some enemies in here, and they're just the statues. They're not really mobile or anything like that, but you need to be aware of their existence because you're gonna have a bad time if you're not expecting them. So kill all of these chumps. And then when we open this door, there's going to be a shit ton of these statues. But the reward that they're guarding is well worth it. So we're going to open the door. Well, we have to actually go through the animation. We can't just bail out like I did. We're probably going to get poisoned. Nope. Ha ha. So we can actually go to our pyromancy flame and just start throwing fireballs in there to clear out the area as much as we can. Oh yeah, double. It's kind of like statue pyromancy bowling in here. But basically, I just like to clear out a little bit of the pathway. We're gonna go in there and get poisoned, it's okay, but the reward is in that vase. So you can just destroy the vase, loot the items, and then get out of there. You don't have to keep killing these statues, there's no real reason to do that. So, see, I mean, it's just no way to avoid it. You're gonna get poisoned. There's so many of these things. So pick up the item. Holy shit. We get the whole Hovel's armor set. And we get his shield as well. So that's pretty damn awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that real fast. Let's take a look at the shield. It's a big boy. It's the exact same set that we had in Dark Souls 1. So if you're familiar with that, you already know this is a massive armor set. It takes a hell of a lot of stats to be able to wear this. So check it out. The Hovel's Great Shield, a shield formed by chiseling a giant boulder as solid as rock. This shield offers incredible defense, but is also terribly heavy. So heavy, in fact, that he who takes it into battle is not allowed to flee until he or his opponent has fallen. That's not necessarily true, but it's pretty cool that they say that because if you're thinking about it realistically, there's no way you're going to retreat wielding something this heavy. You'd just never be able to turn around and get away. Somebody would stab your ass right in the booty hole. So now we've got the armor set, and I just like to evaluate the chest piece real quick. And you can see here, I mean, look at these stats. They are massive physical damage reduction, so... Hovel's armor as if hewn from a giant boulder, offers stupendous defense, but weighs a ton. The origin of the name Hovel is not clear. Some say it was the warrior who wore the armor, but others say that it was the name of a great kingdom ruined in a barbaric war. I don't know. We do know that Hovel was a character from Dark Souls 1, so, or maybe that was just his armor set again, and we don't know where that name originated. Who knows? Somebody out there knows, but it's not me. Okay, so from this point, I'm just going to use a homeward bone. I don't want to try to navigate back. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Okay, so we're back at the bonfire. We're going to tap that bonfire. And now we're going to head to the Iron Keep, the Threshold Bridge. It's our only bonfire access point at the Iron Keep. We actually got there before, but now we're actually heading back. Okay, so I'm going to point out that there's some hot lava to my right, and if you run over there, your ass is going to get chewed up. You do not want to try to get that human effigy. That's exactly what it is, just one human effigy. It is not worth the trouble, because even if you've got on super high flame resistant armor, you've got some spells equipped to reduce your flame damage, these things are going to kill you. It's just a matter of how far you get and how close your souls are when you die. So just because of the picking up an item animation and stuff like that. And it's even way worse if you have to loot a chest, and we'll get to situations like that later in this episode where there's a chest sitting on a pool of lava, and it's like, you know that it takes a long time to open up that chest, so it's pretty much guaranteed death. So some of these things we can come back and get later. You can technically get this and survive, or almost survive, and then retrieve your souls, but it's really not worth it at this moment. So unless you just absolutely have to have a human effigy and you're okay with just dying over and over trying to attempt to get it, go for it. I'm not into that kind of stuff. I don't like pain, only pleasure. So we're going to move on forward, and you can see down there, there's a bonfire ascetic, and that is looted by dropping down on this ledge here, moving forward onto that first ledge, and then you can walk on to the first flaming little island there, and then you have to run and jump onto the second one and heal yourself, then run and jump and continue to run and jump on the next plateau. See, the problem with this is, though, that the way that you'll typically die when you're trying to get to that bonfire ascetic is not from the flame, because you won't be on it long enough to burn to death unless you make a mistake, but it's really difficult to run, then jump, and then follow it with a jump, because after your rolling animation, even if you press down on the left joystick to initiate the jump, sometimes it doesn't work, and it's just not as consistent as you'd like it to be. So what will typically happen is you'll make one of those jumps, and then you'll fail to make the second one, and you'll either run off into the lava or you'll be burned alive from standing on the stone too long. So I don't think that's worth attempting at this juncture in the game. We're not using any of our bonfire ascetics at this point, so just don't worry about it. We're going to draw out this guy with our sorceries. If you can kill him with your sorcery, awesome. If he gets, if you miss one of your shots, bail out of the sorcery, go back to your shield and weapon, because those knights move so fast that once you miss them once, it's going to be hard to hit them again, so you need to be sure that your defense is up and ready. So this guy, he's by himself now, and I'm just going to approach. And I like to just hold up my shield until we get a perfect opportunity to do a backstab. And they have those quick evasive maneuvers like that. So you have to be aware that even if you get in position to do a backstab, they can jump away from it and evade you completely. Now there's a couple divots here in the ground. There's nothing to loot there, so we can go ahead and open this door. Get off of our homeward bone just in case we need to heal. That's one of those things that it's so easy to make a mistake, because you forget to go back to a certain healing item or something like that, and then when you get in the thick of battle, you're trying to smash your button to heal and you've got a homeward bone on. You're like, fuck. So just target this guy, hit him once, he's going to run around to the right. Well, he didn't do it that time, which is better. Sometimes, and what I normally see him do is after you hit him once with a sorcery, he's going to run around that pillar. So you're usually going to miss your second or third shot, so you just have to wait until you see which way he's going. We'll take this guy out with melee. We want to save our spells as often as possible. Come on, buddy. You can see here we're pretty much one-shotting them with critical backstabs. So that's why I wait to do something like that. We don't take any damage because we have our Dranglic shield on, so it's pretty sweet. Now this, you can approach and loot the corpse here, but we will be able to turn this statue off eventually. So it's up to you if you want to take this approach and get the key. There's a key item on this corpse, and what it does is it allows you to open up those locked areas in the Forest of Fallen Giants where the salamanders are. So we'll go to that in a little bit, but I don't really want to show you guys. I don't want to influence you to loot that item just yet, because most of you will probably die trying to get it. Because you are going to take pyromancy damage there, but it's just a matter of how much. So I just suggest not doing it right now. Drag this guy out so we can deal with him. Come on, buddy. Now it takes 3 regular swings to kill them typically at this juncture in the game with how much we've upgraded our weapon. So if you get tired of circling and you just want to fight them head on, that's all it takes. So here we got a merchant, and this guy is really important for us to talk to. Make sure you go through all his dialogue as usual, and then we're going to purchase something that he's got in his inventory that requires at least 7,500 souls. So we're going to go into our little bag of tricks here before we do that. And let's go ahead and use one of these. And we'll use another. We'll go ahead and use all 3 of these just to make it a little bit faster. Awesome. So now let's communicate. And we'll go over incense in a second, but go to buy item. And you can see he's got 2 different unique armor sets. This one is really cool, the Jester's armor set. All of the items here have different effects. You can see raise item discovery, nullifies foes critical hits, increases number of souls acquired, and reduces falling damage. So this whole armor set has unique traits to it. So you can use the whole set and have all those benefits, or you can pick and choose which piece you want to wear and still get those individual effects. So this is definitely an armor set worth looking into, especially something like the Jester's tights, where you have permanent reduced falling damage as long as you're wearing those pants. So obviously we have other ways to get these effects, as like increasing number of souls acquired and raises item discovery, but the Jester's robe is really only beneficial in PvP situations because you're not really getting critical hits on a standard gameplay platform. So we're going to continue through here. That's just a curse bite ring, we don't need that yet. And we're going to purchase the Fragrant Branch of Yore. You guys have seen this in previous episodes, and what it does is it basically restores anybody that's been turned to stone or petrified, however you want to say it. And then they've got some sorceries here. The only one I would suggest buying at this point is the Great Heavy Soul Arrow, and then of course you can get some hexes if you want. But the Great Heavy Soul Arrow is something that we're going to want as well. So when we get the souls and we come back here, we're going to buy this item. Alright, so after this point, continue to talk to him until he exhausts all his conversation options. He's got a lot to say, actually, so you're going to need to do this for a little bit. Chatty, chatty, chatty. And some of the things, you really do want to listen to what these NPCs say, because they give you information about places or other NPCs that you're going to come across fairly often, so you definitely want to pay attention. Okay, so we'll talk about incense now, and this is just using the incenses that we have in our inventory. You can see in the bottom right corner that it says how many of these spells that we're holding and what this does. So let's see, we'll go to the Soul Vortex, and we only have one of these spells. And we'll click on that, and then we can use our certain incense. So we have to be here to apply these spices to do that kind of thing. So this is where you use those, and if you were wondering how to do that, now you know. So we're going to back out of that. We don't need to do anything like that at the moment. And we'll go ahead and heal up a little bit. And now we're going to go to the right. We're going to go up the stairwell where we just killed that enemy. Now there's nothing over here except for this item. We get this Pharaoh's Lockstone, but don't worry about these pots. They can't damage you. It just looks like it's water in my opinion. But we go to this wall here and interact with it with our action button. It's an illusory wall. Now we're going to have a ballista in here, and we'll also have this corpse. So we get 20 fire arrows. Now you can come up to this wall and open it up with your action button and then get behind the ballista and fire it, but it's not as effective as coming up to the enemy and landing a backstab, so I'm not gonna suggest doing that. Oh my god, I can't believe I missed. That's what not targeting does for you. So once you kill these two, Make sure that you kill both of them on top of this platform so you don't aggro that one enemy down the way there. And then we can safely come down and fight him. Do a little bit of our healing. And you can see what this area right here is the same place that we've been before. And now you see that statue and the exact same way we came in the entrance. So if you're ever trying to get through this area earlier on, this is how you get there. So if you basically die before we get to the next bonfire, you've got a slight shortcut instead of heading the same way we just went. Now there's going to be a very powerful enemy knight up top to the right who's an archer. So we're going to switch to a ranged way of combat, and we're going to get on our binoculars. Don't worry about that knight down there. He's not going to pursue us far enough. So just basically get into the open here. Make sure that you stand close enough to the edge so that your spell will actually reach. And my aim is just horrible right now. Okay. Now you don't stun them until you hit them twice. So as long as you fire away fast enough, you're going to be able to kill them without having to evade. But if you miss your first shot, then after you fire your second one, you need to disengage and roll out. Okay, so this guy up front, we don't have to do any sorcery with him. We can just focus on him all by himself. He's got an archer way behind him, so let him drag forward, basically, pull him back towards where we came in. Plus we'll have more room to navigate around him this way. And they're pretty much gonna successfully hit you with every swing they take. It's very rare that they miss. Even while you're circling with your shield, you notice that they constantly make contact. So it's not something that I suggest as far as trying to fight them without your shield up. Even though you'll move a little bit faster, they move faster than any enemy we've faced yet. So you have to be aware of that and basically be patient and just fight smart. So here we get a Soul of a Proud. Oh shit! Almost forgot about that guy. I did forget about that guy. There was no almost about it. So yeah, normally when you loot something next to an edge, there's a reason it's on an edge and it's a way to fuck with you. So we have to kill this guy or else we face that problem. I'm not sure which archer hit me. I know it wasn't that one. I don't think he could see me there unless this captain pulled out a bow. He might have done that. Let's take a look at him. Did you shoot me, you son of a bitch? Anyways, we can take him out with range right here. It's really easy. You can obviously target him if you like. Heal up some mo. Open this chest here. There's no danger with this. Give me the loot. So we get the life ring +1 and 1 twinkling titanite. Okay, so we'll take a look at the life ring +1. It's no different than the regular life ring, except it's going to be slightly heavier and it's going to be less sturdy. And also what it is it's going to give you more hit points than the other one is. So we'll take a look at our stats here, and we can see that we have 934 hit points. So we'll go to our inventory and replace this ring. Whoopsies. And we'll see that now we have 980 instead of 934. So now let's switch out that ring with its big brother. And we can see here that we have 1004 instead of 980. So it's a slight bump. It's really not worth it. These rings, like I said before, the health rings are pointless once you've gotten to a certain point in the game. They're really only beneficial for you very early on. So this is definitely not something that I would suggest wearing over the other rings that we have the opportunity to equip. Okay. So let's just drop down this ledge here. And all we're gonna do is come down these stairs. Watch out for this knight. Do not open that door directly in front of me. There's a reason there's flames behind it and the door is smoking. If you open it, a bunch of flames will shoot out and burn you. So we're gonna flip this lever here and it's gonna drop down this bridge. So once that happens, we're gonna run over and cross the bridge. Now this is why you've killed those archers, because that one up top would really give you havoc from this point on. So pull this guy back. You obviously don't want to fight him on a bridge. He's dead. Now these knights are great to farm. They give you a lot of souls, and they also have tons and tons and tons of armor drops. So it's really, really beneficial. Now there's an archer down there that's shooting at us. So we're going to take him out in a second. Basically, what you can do is you can use your ranged attack from up here, but I don't think there's any need to do that. Archers are really easy to fight. Don't even give him a chance to grab his sword. Now this here is Lucitil, and she's going to help us at the next boss fight. It's totally an optional boss fight, but I'm going to suggest it because it gives us access to a new bonfire. It gives us a soul of the boss, lots of souls, and it also unlocks another optional boss. So there's multiple reasons to engage with that kind of enemy. Okay, so from here, what I'm going to do is line up this jump with that doorway. And of course, we just picked up the Zweihanda, and we're going to go over that. Oh, I almost missed that. But you want to get a better bit of running before you jump. So we pick up the dull ember in here, and I just want to get inside before I start reading anything, just in case there's a roaming enemy that I've somehow forgotten about, which is totally possible knowing me, but highly unlikely in this situation. So we picked up the dull ember just now, and the dull ember is a key item. You see that it's located in the key section, so if it's something that you grabbed and you can't find it, it's in your keys. Dull ember, an ember radiating a dull light. This flame seems nearly exhausted, but exhibits an eerie resilience. Perhaps this is its ordinary state. This is an item that we bring back to Blacksmith McDuff, and we've got a bonfire access point for him, so make sure that you visit that. You hand him the dull ember, and he's gonna be able to upgrade your weapons with new imbuements and better properties. So be sure to do that, and we'll of course visit that in the future, so you'll learn all about that when we do as well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the weapon, the Zweihanda that we just picked up. Let's see if we can locate it. It's just a big ass sword, so there it is. The Zweihanda, a straight sword with a very long blade, one of the few ultra great swords. As the name suggests, the Zweihanda is held with two hands, but its weight is such that even wielding it in this manner requires strength worthy of the blade. So you can see here that the Zweihanda requires 24 strength and 12 dexterity, and it is an ultra great sword. So yeah, this weapon is obviously awesome, but it's going to expose you because it's got really heavy swings, and you need these stats to be able to wield it effectively. Now this is just one-handed wielding. Obviously if you wield something two-handed, you don't necessarily have to have the total strength requirement to do so. Okay, so now we're going to climb up this ladder. Now normally you'd climb up this ladder to destroy the Alon captain if you hadn't already, but we did, and here is a Pharaoh's Lockstone contraption, and you don't want to use this. It just gives you some extra health healing pool in here, and that's just pointless at this juncture. So we're going to drop down to the side here, and we're going to run and jump. And this point right here, we're going to basically line ourselves up with the wall. That way we're jumping into it, so you don't roll off into the hot lava, and we get the large soul of a nameless soldier, and we get red leech troches. And now we can just drop down below. Gonna walk over here, drop off the edge, and you're gonna flip this lever. You can see it drops the bridge completely now, whereas before it was basically at an angle. And what we're gonna do now is drop down on this. Now, if we come down here, you can see this chest, and this is what I was talking about earlier when you're trying to open a chest on the molten lava surface. This will fuck you up. Do not try to get this. It's just a shield, and we can get it later, so don't think that it's something amazing there. It's a good shield, but it's not worth dying for, especially right now. So we can focus on that in a later time. What I want you to do is go up these stairs, and you're going to spin the wheel. Now if you look at the flames in this little window here, you'll realize what the function of this wheel is, and eventually the flames will evacuate the area. Okay, so now we no longer see any flames, and that tells me that I can turn the corner and drop down again, and now I'll be able to open this door and I won't get blasted by flames. So we've got some loot here to the right, the large titanite shard and a petrified dragon bone, and we actually get 2 large titanite shards, so that's pretty sweet. You can open this door here as well, and that's the way we're going to go out in a second, but first we're going to climb up this ladder and defeat the knight that's on top of it. Or he's not there, we already killed him, sorry about that. We're going to loot this item though. We get old radiant life gem and green blossoms. Green blossoms, yay! Don't climb up that ladder. In fact, we're just going to drop down this one. And we're going to exit out this door. I was actually thinking of the knight that's on top of that other ladder that we just skipped over. Okay, so go up these stairs. We're going to go back across the bridge. And now this time we're going to summon our NPC, because we've got no other enemies to deal with in the area except for the boss. So we're summoning Lucitil. Okay, so boss is going to focus on Lucitil basically the whole fight until Lucitil dies. So we've got an opportunity to use as many of his spells as we can. So make sure that your spell uses are basically at pretty much maximum. So I've got quite a few great heavy soul arrows to use. I've got all of my great soul arrows. And then I can switch to pyromancy if I need be, but I won't. I'll go straight to melee at that point. So make sure that you are ready and enter the fog gate. Now remember, this is an optional boss, and it is a bad boy, but it's okay. We want to fight this enemy. So just wait until Lucitil gets in there, starts swinging away, and now we can focus on the boss. We just don't want the boss to be focused on us early on. Let your stamina rebuild. You'll see when the boss is doing that kind of charge up that it doesn't take as much damage, so you want to wait a little bit. So we're going to wait it out. Wait it out. Now we'll go ahead and attack. You can see we're about on pace with the damage as far as how badly they're hurting Lucitil versus how badly we're hurting the boss. I know this makes the boss fight extremely easy, but that's the point of a walkthrough. You want to make things as simple as possible for the people playing the game. His attacks are pretty awesome. If I was a boss, one that I would like to be would be the Smelter Demon. He's just got some pretty badass attacks. So here you see we get his soul, we get lots of souls, and now we've got access to another bonfire, and that's basically up this stairwell here. So you can see we've got a chest. I don't want you guys to forget about that. Open up this bad boy. So we get the Porcine shield, or the Porcine shield, however you want to say it, and the flame butterfly. So let's take a look at the shield. And I think it's Porcine because you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Okay, so it's got basically the head of a boar on it, and it looks pretty awesome. A strangely poor-kind shield. The pig head looks eerily authentic, but is an imitation. Though the shield's defensive capacity is ordinary, it may spook an unsuspecting foe. So you can see here, it only has a strength requirement of 9, and it's not that great of a shield. It's really just fun to use, especially if you're invading a newer player and you've got a shield like that on. They automatically get a little bit more scared than they normally are. I mean, you just know it. You know that's the case. You know how you were when you were a noob, and if someone invaded you with a piece of armor that you had never seen, and it just looked exotic like that, you're like, oh fuck, I'm screwed. So that's really the total purpose of that shield right there. It's a troll shield, effectively. So we're gonna visit this bonfire here, light it up, and now we're gonna travel, and we're gonna go back to Majula. Back to my jewels. Going shopping. Okay, so go ahead and talk to our lady friend here.
Bearer of the
Yeah, I know. I wish she would stop saying that shit. Okay, so we're gonna level up, and we're gonna start with Vigor this time. We're gonna start working that all the way up to 19. Going to get some hit points, baby. Now we can leave her. And that's going to be it for this episode, guys. We've got a lot of stuff to do in the Iron Keep ahead of us, but I don't want to put it all in something that's going to take an hour and a half long to do. So stay tuned for next episode where we focus on the rest of the Iron Keep. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And be sure to check me out on Twitch if you haven't already. I'm on twitch.tv/paperplanes channel. Just like on YouTube, I'm going to be doing Dark Souls, pretty much anything that I feel like doing. I haven't started to live stream yet, but I need a certain amount of followers before I really invest in that. So go join me there. Eventually I'll be doing it, and you'll all know about it. Also, leave a comment in the section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to me on YouTube, of course, if you aren't already a subscriber. See you guys next time. Peace. Hey guys, thank you so much for visiting my channel. I know there's lots of awesome content on YouTube, and it really means a lot you chose to view my videos. I hope you enjoyed them and will join me on my other social media accounts. And of course, subscribe here to become a part of the Paper Planes YouTube community.